So we'd like to introduce ourselves. We come from a public institution depending of Diputación de Alicante, the local government of Alicante province. Alicante province is the fourth most populous province in Spain and has the largest ratio of foreigner population in Spain. So our work is made up of psychiatrists, psychologists, and social workers, all experts in solving interpersonal conflicts in the family, companies, and professional groups. And we also work with multi-professional network, mainly made up of health, educational, and social services professionals. So in Spain, this project has been led by the IAF professionals, the professionals of Instituto Alicantino de la Familia, in close collaboration with teachers and parents and children from two public schools, Lo Romero and Mediterráneo. Both of them have preschool from 3 to 6 years old and primary from 6 to 12 years old pupils. The total of teachers participating were 25 in the training and 15 more teachers in the multiplier events. So a total of 20 teachers, 20 classes with 25 pupils each one. So we calculate about 500 pupils attending the project. These are some pictures of the focus group that our colleague from Turkey also already has explained. So Alicante has also hosted the face-to-face training for the teachers who have participated in the project for 3 days from the 27th of September to the 1st of October. 25 teachers from the partnership had the opportunity to learn by sharing knowledge and experiences in relation to the 4 fundamentals. And a wide variety of ideas were collected to transfer in the classrooms in the local context afterwards. We would also like to stand out that the relationship between family and school is an essential aspect in the educational system in Spain. Therefore, many activities and meetings shared in this project are already included in the school planning. In addition, there is a special subject since preschool that is called values, where concepts like morality, respect, equality, or human rights are dealt. Nevertheless, the 5 Spanish teachers who attended the training in Alicante have included some new relevant concepts and activities in their day-to-day classroom dynamic. For example, when a conflict arises in the classroom, teachers use the dynamic about the horizontal line, where pupils have to place themselves in one of the 2 extremes, so that facilitates reflection and self-evaluation of their moral filter. Another example is that after standing out the importance of the environment during the training in Alicante, all teachers attending the activity have revised the environment of their own classroom and of the school as a whole. Regarding the self-control, before COVID, schools used to offer a yoga activity for the kids after lunch, and currently they're trying to include it once more in their planification, adapting it to the current restrictions. So in the follow-up meetings with them after the training, in the meetings with the teachers as well as with the parents, they gave us some more concrete ideas about how to implement the methodology of the project in the test phase. So according to their feedback, the implementation of the activities based on the 4 fundamentals should not only be done in the framework of the day-to-day activities in school, because not all teachers could have the same level of awareness of the importance of the concept. So they consider that the implementation should be done in the framework of exceptional but frequent events that facilitate the coexistence between school and families, some kind of informal events that Iran, our partner from Turkey, has just explained. So therefore, we plan the multiplier events as an opportunity to implement the contents of our project. And we organized 2 days of coexistence between teachers and parents with a great variety of activities focused on the 4 fundamentals. And children were also included since they are our main target group. So these were the 2 events we organized. The first one was on the 13th of November from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. 11 teachers, 41 parents, and 47 children participated in this event. We began with a workshop carried out by an expert in upbringing and early education. It was directed to both parents and teachers in a mixed group. and it lasted 4 hours. During this workshop, the speaker dealt with the 4 fundamentals, the ways in which parents can be involved in the school activities right from the beginning of the preschool. She carried out debates about morality in upbringing, limitations of the education system versus real necessities of the kids. There was a great debate. Then she carried out a group activity with kids. Kids were asked which things they thought should be changed by the adults in the school and family environment, and which elements were very welcomed by them. So kids gave great ideas that afterwards the speaker introduced in her debate with teachers and parents. Actually, giving voice directly to the kids turned out to be very inspiring. And finally, she carried out some corporal activities that facilitate relaxing and emotional expression of the participants as part of the self-control. And in the meanwhile, educators were carrying out group activities with the children, focusing on group strengths and cooperation. And afterwards, we organized a picnic in the same place because in the afternoon we had prepared 2 workshops. The workshops were carried out by other experts, including teacher and parents involved directly in them. Participants were divided into 2 groups and alternated both workshops. First, we start with yoga in family workshop. It was an activity carried out with parents and children, as well as with teachers and their own children, all of them together in a mixed group. So the expert in charge of it used tales, music, movement, and respiration exercises in order to practice the ability to relax, find peace, and reach more constructive ways of thoughts. It lasted about 50 minutes and focused on self-control. Just a small video, a short one. And the other workshop, at the same time, we did the other workshop, the music therapy workshop that was carried out by experts in music therapy, teachers, parents, and the professionals of our institution. It also lasted 15 minutes. In first place, we divided the group into small groups, the one of the teachers and the other one of the parents. We asked each group to think about the rules and the values that should be in the other environment. So teachers were asked to think about family environment and parents were asked to do the same, thinking about school environment. Each group wrote it down in a paperboard, as you can see in this picture. At that point, the music therapist explained the use of music to self-control and expression of emotions, and each participant of the workshop chose a musical instrument. Then we invited each group to look at it, at its own brainstorming, put themselves in the position of the other group, and think about the difficulties carrying out the rules and values themselves had mentioned. That means that families had to consider the difficulties teachers usually have when trying to fulfill the expectation of the families and vice versa. So this part was a great exercise of empathy between teachers and parents. And afterwards, they were invited to talk about these difficulties, expressing them by words as well as by music. And this way, we were able to do a lot more than an intellectual debate. We were able to feel together. Finally, the music therapist asked everyone to express by music the main feeling he or she had in the end of the event. So musical sounds were being added one after the other. And although in the beginning there was a great noise, finally it sounded like a melody. So school and families were able to synchronize themselves in order to play music together. The metaphor of it is that when each one of us calms down his or her own emotion and is able to listen and take into consideration the emotion of the rest of the person implicated, melody is possible. And about the second event, okay, here. The second event took place in the 18th of December from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. 9 teachers, 32 parents, and 43 children attended it. Since the activity took place a few days before Christmas, it was a chance to organize a food bank with the participants in order to hand out these food products to disadvantaged families of Alicante as part of the morality activity. You can see the photo here. So we began the day with a workshop about the use of tales in education and family carried out by an educator, expert in children's literature. The target group in this case were the teachers and the parents and lasted an hour and a half. The expert recommended special tales in order to deal with the 4 fundamentals and explained how to use them in order to begin a constructive conversation with the kids about these things. In the meanwhile, educators were carrying out group activities with the children the same way they did it in the previous event. And the next activity was the tale laboratory that was directed to parents and children, as well as to teachers and their own kids. 3 different spaces were organized. Firstly, a corner with a great variety of tales about family relationships and friendship, where families could spend some time reading the tales they wished. Then an educator read a story about the environment of kids and the many contexts that surround them, like family, school, neighborhood. And after that, kids got a cardboard like that, a blue cardboard, put a figure of a child in the middle, and they painted the world around me with the elements and colors they wished. And the third space was about anger and control of emotions. An educator read a story about the expression of anger and the importance to have a space where anger can be unleashed in a controlled way. And after that, kids and families made their own pillows, cut the clothing for it and everything in order to prepare their own material for unleashing the anger. The tale laboratory lasted an hour and a half, and families had the opportunity to move around the different spaces and spend the time they wished in each one of them. So in both cases, some kind of evaluation about it, in both cases, there were great and intensive experiences of coexistence between family and school. The evaluation of families and teachers was very positive. Participants stood out on that we took into consideration their availability due to work or caregiving of the kids. That's the reason why we planned it on Saturday, and we had some educators in charge of the kids carrying out group activities. And finally, we would like to read some examples of evaluation comments. Parents said, for example, this event has helped me improve the communication with my daughter's teacher. It has been a great opportunity to interact parents with teachers in an enjoyable context. And some examples of teachers' evaluation, this kind of coexistent days could really contribute to a healthier relationship between family and school if organized frequently. And this different point of view made me think about how I can be a better mother and better teacher. That's all from us. Thank you very much for your attention.